everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Ashley, and here on my channel I talk all about applique, embroidery, Etsy, and running your own small business from home. So today is Friday. It's finally fall. Definitely feels like fall here, and I'm going to be working all day on orders. So I'm just getting started. I'm picking up with you guys a little later than I normally do. I was up like 5:30 to finish setting up my files. It's just before 8 o'clock now, and I'm just actually getting into the office and getting started. So I'm actually well prepped, but I do have quite a bit to do, like usual. I have only 2 kids' applique shirts, so my plan of attack for the weeks lately has been to try to get as many of those done as possible. That way on Friday I can run all 3 machines on just straight embroidery jackets and get those knocked out faster. That seems to be more productive for me. The kids' shirts take longer, but once I usually get them set up, I can somewhat walk away. So those are easier to do Monday through Thursday with my daughter here with me. And then when I have all day Friday to focus on my business and getting orders out, it's a lot faster for me to run straight embroidery. So I'm going to be sorting my jackets and doing mostly embroidery today, not much applique. I'd like to get done early enough to do a couple new items, but realistically probably won't happen. So I have a couple new things here I want to show you before I get started. Nancy Blank has a channel and she does a lot of embroidery things on a single needle, but I bought one of her merch shirts. It says "My Mind Went Blank." Her shop is Cajun Peach Kids. And then I also bought a cute pair of leggings for my little girl from her. They are so super cute, little candy corns. And then yesterday I actually spent all day out of the office, and I went to a bigger area, a bigger town than where I live, and they have a home goods store. So I actually picked up a couple things for my office here that I'm going to try out, like organization wise. And I'll show you guys those. The first is, and I did record some clips there, but I don't know, I might include those right after this. It's like a kitchen organization rack, like it's supposed to put like pans and stuff in. I'm going to put my non-magnetic hoops in this and see if that'll keep them like standing up a little bit better. This is metal, so it's not going to work for those magnetic hoops. It's just they're just going to stick to it and stick to each other in between. But I'm hoping maybe at least put my non-magnetic hoops in here, keep them a little bit more organized. So that's what this looks like. It was $5.99. So if it doesn't work, I'll just stick it upstairs in my kitchen. It needs plenty of organization too. The next piece I got is like a little, it's supposed to be like a little desk or letter organizer. So I'm going to actually set this here on my cutting table. I have this basket I've had for years that I just shoved down as I pre-cut stabilizer. I just set it in there. And I'm actually going to use this for that exact same purpose. And then there's some slots up here. I'm just going to try to keep like my scissors, a pin, things like that I use. Maybe even like shipping supplies, so like thank you stickers or cards or stuff like that. Maybe those will go in there. I'm not sure, but it is going to sit and live right here on my cutting table. And it was $14.99. It's aqua. It matches my room pretty well. They had gray and white, I think maybe even black, but aqua, of course, caught my eye. And then the final thing I got, it's not so much organization, but something I just needed for my room, and that's a clock. I don't have a clock in here other than my phone and the computer. I have a little like digital alarm clock that I put in here just as a clock because I don't use it anywhere else. So, but I can finally get rid of that one because I've got a real clock now. This one's like, it's got a little bit of just rose gold around it. And it was $12.99. So a couple nice little relatively cheap things for my office. I've got a lot of plans for organization and stuff in here, just no time to do it. So this is the area I currently store most of my hoops underneath my machine. I did keep one of my stands for my 10 needle. I had one of the older, like, ugly little almond colored ones, and when I got this last 10 needle, it came with this. So my almondy one is out in storage somewhere. I actually prefer to have most of my machines on countertops, but it is nice to have the open space underneath the machine every once in a while. So this always has hoops on it, so it gets nasty dirty. So I'm just going to wipe that off right now, get most of that out there. That's better. It comes with these like dividers, but the problem is they don't stay down in very well. So is that even? I'm gonna go ahead and leave them there, but I'm gonna try. Maybe we'll put this back here. I don't know. Maybe we'll just put these down on the bottom and not use that at all. So down on the bottom, I keep my bigger hoops and stuff I don't use very frequently. I got a bunch of hoops with like the standard hoops that come with the machines. I don't really use those. I do use the 8x12 that comes with a 6 needle, and then I bought a spare of those. The 10 needles have 8x14s, and I don't like those. So I have my Durkee hat hoop. I don't use that frequently. I'm probably going to set it towards the back. And same with these Durkee 6x6. I use these only when I need just a little bit more space than my 5.5-inch mighty hoops give me. I don't know if they're going to all fit in this. I'm going to put those all 3 in the back. And they're a little snug in there, but I don't reach for those a lot, so that's fine. Next, I think I'm going to put those 8x12s. I have one more classier shirt to do. That's really all I use these for. I don't do a lot of larger format shirts. Here's the second one. I want to get a third one for my third machine, but I haven't yet. So there's those. And then I'm going to do my 3 Durkee hoops. These are 9x9, or they're 24 centimeter. They're really more like an 8x8, I guess. They're very close in size to the 8x9 mighty hoop, but they have more of a rounded corner, so you lose some space there in your stitch area. And then, but they are nicer to put in slightly smaller shirts where the mighty hoops don't fit. I wonder if these mighty hoops will maybe set in here. Yeah, they attach to it. But maybe if I leave, if I can turn this sideways. Ooh, that might work. Maybe if I leave one in there, and then I can set just one in front of it. I don't know, that might work. What do you guys think about that? Or I might turn it sideways and leave it how they always have been. I don't know. We'll see which one works best and then go from there. I think I'm definitely going to leave it turned sideways. That gives me more room. So I put one of my 8x9 mighty hoops. I don't want to put the other one because it'll attach to it. So I'm wondering if I set it here like that. That's enough separation so they're not like attaching to each other. And then when the fast frame's off, it can just slide in here too when I'm not using it for this machine. That works. I think that's pretty functional. Like I said, I've got a whole mess of them down there that needs cleaned up, but I don't use those frequently, so I'll deal with those on another day. All right, so now I'm going to work on this next. So it's this basket here. It doesn't usually have shirts in it, but what I use this for is I cut my tearaway stabilizer. It's already 12 inches in width. I cut it either 11 to 12 inches. I keep shirts. If I'm taking the shirt out of them, I put the shirt bags in here. And I always end up with a couple spares, which is actually nice because sometimes they rip. So I keep a couple extra, like that I've used, like messed up on or stuff like that. Those. Got some pre-cut stabilizer. Some poly mesh that's already pre-cut as well. So I think I'm going to put those in here. Need to flatten them back out. I think I'm going to put my big stabilizer in the back. This next. Poly mesh in front of that. My shirts in the middle. And then those front sections, for now at least, I think I'm going to just put my scissors in. Maybe as I get going, maybe if I get thank you cards, put them in there so they're easily accessible because this is where I package stuff as well. But that's going to actually just live right here on the corner of my cutting table. And the other new addition is why I'm angled like this, I wanted to show you guys, was I got a new cutting mat that fits and is actually too big for my entire cutting table. So my table is 3 foot by 4 foot. This mat is 58 inches in width. So I didn't know how big it was when I bought it. I knew it looked pretty big, but I found this for $5 at a garage sale, brand new. So couldn't pass it up. And it, like I said, it's big. It's hanging over the end of my cutting table. That's where I don't walk through anyways. I have my trash can, I have my packaging supplies, my fabric. That's where my tripod usually sits. I don't walk through that area anyway, so I just let it overhang. I've thought about cutting it off. I mean, what do I have to lose at $5? But then my thought was, you know, if at some point I move, I get a bigger table, I might want that length, and then I'm going to have to go buy it at full price. So for now, it's just going to hang over my table, and if that annoys me at some point, I might just cut it off so it fits. So that fits there perfectly. Slightly different aqua than my other stuff, but close enough that matches. I can get rid of this now. Probably go to the toy room. And then that's it, guys. I think I'm ready to get started. So first shirt of the day is one of my unicorn shirts that I do a lot of. I actually haven't done many lately, and then I'm starting to get orders again for them. So I save my packaging the shirt came in. I flip the shirt inside out. I use poly mesh. That's a cutaway type fabric. I use 10 by 10 squares, a little bit of adhesive spray. You can get fusible. It's just, I like doing it this way. This is tearaway. I like using the combination. I feel like it gives a nice crisp stitch out and surface to stitch on, as well as helps with hooping. But the poly mesh, the tearaway will come off the shirt, and then the poly mesh that's left serves as your cutaway, and it's a lot more flexible than traditional cutaway. I fold my shirts in half. I do not crease them on the heat press. I don't want to leave a permanent crease there. And with that tearaway, it gives me enough of a crisp line that it stays until I can get it hooped. And I kind of just, by feel, make sure that's relatively lined up. And then there you go, all hooped, ready to go. This is just a quick overview of how I set colors. There's multiple ways to do this. This is how I prefer it. I find it easier. So this first screen I come up to, this is where you can rotate it, change the size, mirror it. You can kind of move it here, but that's not the best place to do it. But there's this little spool icon with like a color palette next to it. I use that. Since I save my files in MetroPro, my machines actually recognize the colors in relation to what they are on here. They're not always a perfect match or exactly what I want them to be, so I do have to do some adjustment, but I find if I save them in Embroidery, I don't get that. So maybe that's the difference in how I do things versus others. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my stop button. I want it to stop before the second time it runs the 5. Stop before each step of the unicorn, and then stop before it starts on the satin stitching. It actually looks like it's set pretty well. I don't use that 8112 that it's trying to use for yellow. I use that one for that light yellow color. And then a lot of times it doesn't not recognize my black. It actually did this time. It brings it up as 900, that one there. And then it recognized the correct pinks. All right, so that's everything. I end edit. This is where I move the design. So I use this button down here. It's like 2 needles in each corner. Right now, we're looking at the very center, where the placement in the very center of the design is, here on the hoop. If you wanted to see where the top center is, you could click up here. Let me show you the top center. Which needle you're using to gauge where it is in the hoop is going to be the last one you used on the design. Or if you just turn the machine on, it's needle 1. If you don't know, you can hit lock and cut, it's going to drop that needle down and cut the thread, and then you'll know which one you're basing your placement off of. But this design, it fits. I've used it before. Actually, I'm going to trace it with a name just to make sure. Yep, it fits. That was that. It's this corner I was worried about fitting. It fits fine. I'm going to go ahead and start this shirt. Alright, so quick update. It is after lunch now. It's 12:30 and I have both of my kids' shirts done. Those have been done for quite a while actually. And then I had a test stitch I needed to do. That's sitting on top of my light box right here, waiting for me to take pictures, which I'll do here once I get things going again. While I was upstairs for lunch, I got one of the jackets done and 2 names. So machines I need to get stuff back on the hoops and get them going again. All 3 machines this afternoon are going to be running just straight embroidery, so that'll make things go faster. I still have like 22 out of the 32 jackets left to do, but I think 5 of those are names only, and a bunch of the others are actually some of the faster designs that I offer, so that's actually a good thing. So I like usual, I probably won't get this all done to ship by 3 by the mail deadline, but I'm hoping I can at least get it all done and packaged because I need to leave here by like 4 for the evening. So fingers crossed, but I'm gonna go ahead and get back to work, and I'll just record some of the working as I go through the afternoon.
Right, so it's quite a bit later in the afternoon. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm going to start packaging orders. I've got those done down there and trimmed, folded, everything. These I still got to trim and fold. They're from quite a bit earlier. I'm finishing up the last of 4 jackets for this order. It'll just have to have a name on it next. Another similar jacket's ready to go next. I've got an EMS jacket going right now. And then this is another one of the 4-piece jackets that I just finished. Almost done there, and I'll trim that one up. And this is the stack I still need to finish, all except the bottom, very bottom one. 2 more that are done and waiting to be packaged. I've got the boxes prepped for a couple of big orders. This is an order for one of my viewers, so I just wanted to show that real quick. I've got all 5 of her jackets done and ready to go. They'll go in one of those boxes too. Now my machine came unthreaded for the 900th time today. So this is an older machine. This is my brother PR 600 machine. Honestly, it needs service. It hasn't been serviced in like 2 years. I had planned to have it serviced, and then, you know, the world changed and everything was closed when I had planned to take it in. So, and I've just never made the time again. So hopefully next spring I'll be able to get this in, get it serviced. Hopefully I won't have to break down and take it in before then. Let me get it threaded again and get it going.
So the shipping label for this box just cost me $22. $22. Insane. I of course account for that in my pricing, so I'm not out any money, but I probably should have shipped this when UPS or FedEx. It would have probably been cheaper, but last minute, so it's going to the post office. And it's also going from Illinois to California. That's the big difference. And I did put insurance on it. Priority usually comes with, I think it's either 50 or 100 depending on what you have. But this is over a $200 order, so I add the extra insurance on it just in case. The other thing is prices are going to increase again in another week or two or however much for the holidays. So, ouch. Anyone else feeling the post office prices right now? Crazy. So I have just these left here, plus what's on the machine left to trim. There's probably, 5 jackets there or so. And then I'm going to start packaging orders. I don't have everything quite finished and going to ship by 3 o'clock, but I should easily have it done this afternoon before I need to quit for the day. But I am going to shift my focus to packaging instead of embroidering, just so I can make sure I get everything there in time. And then when I get back, I'll finish the orders.